According to Shelly, it's the best for last, I guess.
I thought I would be a hot mess.
We got it done. Because we're more than farmers. One of the worst feelings that I've felt in homesteading is coming to the end of the year and looking back and seeing all that I accomplished, but then just seeing that there's so much more to do. It just goes on and on and on and feels like you never get enough done, you never get ahead. That's just not a good feeling, and we wanted to take care of that for this year. So last year we created what we called a dream board, and a lot of people do stuff like that, but I did this one digitally and put it on the wallpaper of my computer that I go to almost every day to edit these videos and stuff. And every time I walked up to that computer, I saw this dream board. I saw the list of things that we wanted to accomplish this last year, and I was able to see the things that we got done, and it was really, really encouraging and really motivating.
I think it helped give us guidance throughout the year because we had our goals in mind, and so we didn't just do aimless things, we had a plan.
First things that we will go over here is the stuff that we actually got done last year. Shelly wanted to keep on top of the weeding. How'd that go for you?
It went good because I mulched everything. Like right when I planted something, I would mulch it, and so the weeding was not that bad at all.
And when there was weeding to get done, you were really on top of it.
Yes. And the other part of it was the raised beds, because those don't take near as much weeding.
That was one of the other things on our list that we wanted to build a couple raised beds to try them out. I got enough lumber for 3 of them. I ended up only building 2 of them, and we put sweet potatoes in those and some other stuff, and those worked out really well.
Yes.
So we want to put more in this year. I still think it would be really cool to make sure I plan those out really good to make a cool design to look at from this.
Pressure canner was another thing on our list, and I learned to use a pressure canner, which I have been terrified of for years. I've never used one before because I've been scared of them. And this is something you have to use a pressure canner for. So this is a new thing for me. This is my first year using a pressure canner, and it really wasn't hard.
A couple of other things that I wanted to get done was I wanted to move my compost piles, and I did do that. I wanted to build beehives and get bees, and I did do that. Even though I ended up losing 2 out of my 3 colonies, we did get a bunch of honey. It was
a gallon?
It was close to a gallon.
Close to a gallon.
It's like 3/4 gallon of honey, which was really cool. And so I'm excited for next year. I've got some ideas for that we'll go over later. We wanted to get our porch stained.
I stained the porch.
We got it done. And that was most of the things that we got done that was on our list. A couple things that we got partially done was we wanted to get the flower beds done in front of the house. I got the lumber for that, but we didn't actually.
And I planted a couple bushes.
And I wanted to finish up the kids' fort. I worked on it and got part of it done, but I didn't actually finish. So we'll have to put that one on this year's list too. Then there was a few things that we did not get done.
Complete fails.
Yeah, so I wanted to make some dehydrated snacks, which Shelly didn't really want to do. Anyways, so that did not get done. I wanted to build some leaf bins. I didn't get that done, which didn't actually end up really hurting anything this year because we wanted to get a whole bunch of leaves, but our leaf provider kind of fell through a little bit this year. So we ended up not getting as many leaves as we wanted to, so don't need a bin for that, I guess.
Did you spray the fruit trees even one time?
I might not have.
You didn't even one time. I did one time, but I don't think you ever did.
Didn't paint the house, didn't get the fence rows done, didn't finish my barn trim, and I did not finish the root cellar. The root cellar is definitely usable. It's basically that I just wanted to get the shelves up. On Shelly's list of things she wants to get done
is grow more food.
We basically figured out this year that our children are growing. And they're eating a lot more food. We've still got some stuff in the basement, but
we still have tons of food in the basement.
But it's just going down pretty fast.
I'm just stretching it out a little bit more than I normally do. I'm trying to do like 1 meal a week of rice or noodles or something to make the potatoes stretch a little longer. I think I have more raspberries than anything else.
One of the first things that I want to do this year is probably on pretty much everybody's New Year's resolution list.
I bet you can't guess what it is.
I want to work out and lose some weight. I've got a pretty decent dad bod going on, and I'm honestly so sick of it. I've spent most of my life being skinny, and it's just in the last few years that it's just kind of been adding on. And then
too much cream in his coffee.
So good. So I do want to take care of that, and I actually did start a workout program, and I'm doing it with some friends, and so I really feel like I'll actually get somewhere.
The very first thing on my list is to get outside every single day. And I know that sounds a little whatever, I'm a homesteader's wife, but during the winter, Cody and the kids do the chores, and I'm in charge of the homesteading stuff inside, like washing and packaging eggs and straining milk and all that stuff. I also homeschool, and so I don't go to town very much during the week, and every now and then I'll come to the end of a day and I'm just feeling so stressed out, and I'm like, you know what? I have not stepped outside of the door even once.
So as I'm sitting here editing this, I'm just thinking about how thankful I am for all of the work that Shelly does inside and outside. And the thing is she likes to do garden stuff and not really stuff with the animals. So in the summer, she's probably actually outside about more than I am. And in the winter, since I do the stuff with the animals, that's why I get out a little more. But what she's got to say here is really important for your physical and mental health. And I just wanted to give a shout out to her for all the work that she does. And I will get to some more like homesteady stuff a little bit later, but I thought I'd start out with just a few of my personal goals. And the second one is that for you guys, I want to bring you the absolute best YouTube content that I can bring this year. I fully realize that I'm not the best YouTuber and I'm not going to bring you the best content you've ever seen. But I want to bring you the best content that I can bring, and that's going to mean putting a lot of thought into every video and really putting myself out there and connecting. I want to really build a community this year, and one of the things with that I'm really excited about is that I want to set a goal for myself to make at least one course this year. And even if it's just a small mini course, nothing big and fancy, but that's something that I've wanted to do, but it looks really big to me to do, so I at least wanted to set that goal. I'm not for sure what that's going to be yet. If you guys have some suggestions, something that you would like to dive deeper on than what's in our videos, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do.
One of my priorities this year is to do meal prepping every single Monday. That is something I have been doing now for the past couple months and I absolutely love it. One of my goals for last year was to use more of the stuff we grow. I was finding that I was wasting a lot of stuff, things like squash and stuff that you just don't think of using every day. And meal prepping is something that really helped me with that. At the beginning of every week, I write out 5 meals, and then on Mondays, I bring up all the meat and the vegetables from the basement, thaw them, chop them up, and then I use them throughout the week, and it's been a complete game changer for me.
And can I tell you guys a little secret? I tried to get her to do this for a long time.
It just looked really big to me because I thought I would just have one huge day of cooking, and I absolutely hate cooking. I thought I would be a hot mess every Monday, but I'm not, because I'm not actually cooking. I'm just chopping things. I don't actually cook anything. Yeah.
I really want to be more intentional about having family fun this year and not just like going out and doing things, but making home life more fun, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all the work that I have to do. With a full-time job, a YouTube channel, and a homestead, and I play on the worship team at church. I don't want that stuff to get in the way of the real reason that we're homesteading. Because see, we're not actually homesteading for the sake of homesteading. We're homesteading.
We're not preppers.
I feel like we're homesteading for 2 basic reasons mostly. One is to have healthier food for us to eat. And then the second one is for a good family life. A good place.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, a good place to raise our children.
Oh yeah.
But if you get so stressed out doing the homestead things and you end up homesteading just for the sake of homesteading, you often neglect the family part of it, which is just totally throwing out the reason you started. The other personal goal that I have is that we want to get our house paid off this year. This 5.6 acre piece of land right here is our home. My goal was to have it paid off in 10 years, and this will be 9 years if we can get paid off. And I mean, according to payment schedule and everything, we will have it paid off. We have pretty much struggled with our finances all through our marriage, and it has gotten better the last couple of years. I wouldn't say we're struggling, but we're still, you know, we have a really tight budget and stuff, and so getting the house paid off will really, really help.
So for me, one of the biggest things that I want to get done this year, and the problem with this goal that I'm setting is that I can't actually do it by myself, but I want to get all the fence rows cleaned out and then plant like some lilac bushes or something along the sides.
Which looks like a really, really big job.
I know. Oh, and also another thing that I can't do, but that I really want done, is getting rid of the hoop house that's in the garden, because it's just full of thistles and it's not doing any good. It's just like tying up so much garden space.
And a lot of you are probably thinking, what in the world is your problem? Why wouldn't you use it?
I know.
And the thing is, like, we could use it. Basically, we have the raised beds up here that we use for greens, and we don't need more space than that.
And along with that, another one of my goals is to, this fall, fill up my raised beds with greens. I did like 2 of them with greens this year, and we just stopped eating salad from there.
Right, and if you saw our last video, we just got some after a winter snowstorm, which was really cool.
Negative 11 degrees for like 2 days, negative 37 degree wind chill, and we had unheated raised beds, and there's still lettuce in there.
Yeah.
This is like a perfect perfectly good piece of lettuce right here. But I want to fill those completely up so that we can even have salads into January and February next year.
A couple things that I want to learn to do this winter. I want to learn to make mead, which is honey wine. And no, I'm not going to use the honey that I got from my bees because I'm really scared I'll mess up like the first
I think
batch
he
or two.
should use it because that would just make it so much cooler.
But I think maybe I should make one with some cheaper honey first, so some store-bought honey, and then if that works, then I'll use mine. And I also want to learn to make jerky, beef jerky, deer jerky, whatever, because really great snack, and I love jerky, but the jerky that you get at the store is full of all kinds of things that I don't want to eat, and it's super expensive.
So expensive.
I do want to learn to make that for myself. And those might even become videos.
This is my favorite goal for this year. I would really like to do a great arbor this year. I'm gonna need help, obviously, making the trellis, and then I'll probably take everything from there, like all the pruning and watering, planting, all that stuff.
Okay.
What, you think you
I didn't know you were gonna volunteer to do that, but hey.
The pruning and stuff?
Yeah.
I even pruned our fruit trees this year.
You did.
We're gonna have to do a bunch of research on that because neither of us knows anything about growing grapes.
Yeah.
So.
Any tips? Drop them in the comments for us. So something kind of like that for me is I just thought it would be really cool to trellis something this year. I didn't talk to Shelly about this.
You just want to trellis something.
No, what I want is I just love seeing the pictures and videos of the gardens with like this arch at the entry of the garden with like vines growing up it and stuff hanging down. And I want to do that with something.
Could you put cucumbers on a trellis like that?
Probably.
Okay. Put my cucumbers on a trellis. I can't grow cucumbers. Maybe that will make so I can't.
I just want to do something on an arched trellis like that. So that'd be fun. So that's a goal.
Are you gonna like have a homemade trellis or one of those tacky like crisscross?
What, you think I'm gonna go buy a trellis? No.
Okay, my last garden goal is to try to get my warm weather crops out on time. What I always do is I'm like right on the stick with getting all of my cold weather crops out, and then I just relax and I'm like, oh, you know, it's not hot yet, and so I don't have to get the squash out. And then all of a sudden it's too late, and that's what happened this year, and I got like 3 little squash that were this big. It was a complete fail, and we had to get some from an Amish farmer.
Last year I made beehives and we got bees. There's dead bees right outside of the nuke box. This year, I want to expand my bee yard. It was just real bummer to me to have 3 hives and have 2 of them die, I have 1 left, and I'm just hoping they make it over the winter. And I figure for next year, I want to up my chances. The more beehives, the more chance I've got that they'll be okay.
That's just pessimistic.
It is really easy to catch swarms, and so I'm just going to try to catch swarms this spring. Get the traps out as soon as it would be the season for it, and build a couple more hives. I want to build some bigger hives. I think the ones that I made last year are kind of like the minimum size for a horizontal hive, and I think it would be better if they were a little bigger to give them more room to grow. Last year I made 14 frame hives, and I want to build 2 20 frame hives. So
the last thing on my list is to water and fertilize and pamper the pine trees that we planted. Last year some of them died, and this year I want to keep them all alive. According to Shelly, it's the best for last, I guess. She looked and saw what I had on my list. I do want to train our dog Cowboy. That was one of the stipulations for getting a puppy, was that I would train it. And I've done a little bit of training with him. Cowboy, come here, buddy. Hey, buddy, what's up? He is a really good puppy. Define good.
But he's a puppy, and he does very puppy-like things.
Cowboy. Now you know.
That was everything that Shelly and I had on our list. We're gonna go take this piece of paper and turn it into a dream board, and it will take us a little while to do it, but you're gonna see it right now.
Cody takes forever. Your latte is gonna be gone before we even start. The end.